Welcome, family and friends, to the Durgee Junior High School Spring Band Concert, directed by Miss Christina Chervick. We've got a great show for you tonight. The last show for our 9th graders before we send them on to the halls here at Baker. Thank you so much for coming out to enjoy the hard work and talents of our students. Thank you in advance for silencing your phones, and please enjoy the show.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Welcome to our final concert of the year. This is always my favorite. That piece was called Refrigeration by Todd Stalter. It's based on the Phrygian mode, which is the title that we give certain scales that we have in our musical system. The half steps that make the scale mode so unique are celebrated both in melodic and harmonic sense. And the title of the work is a wordplay on refrigeration, alluding to the Phrygians' mode being, in a sense, stored and preserved over time for our listening consumption at a later date. You're certainly going to recognize this next piece. Here is Sweet Child of Mine. It is such a joy to work with your children. As you can see, the growth and the maturity musically as this year has gone on is just immense, and I feel privileged to be able to work with them, so thank you for that. This next piece that we're going to do is actually a percussion feature with band. So each percussion student has their own part, and it's very difficult and advanced and intricate. And I just want to give a shout out to Liam Pilata, who is covering for the first time the snare part that was covered by another student who had a fever today and isn't here with us, unfortunately. So I thank him immensely for that. So we hope you enjoy. All right, this is where I get to brag about my students and your children. It's the best time, it's the best part of the show. We have had a lot of students participate in a lot of things this year. We've had all county, we've had area, all state. We've had extracurriculars with drumline and winter guard and marching band and now parade band. There's just so much opportunity for our students to partake in, and it's such a wonderful program that we have, and I'm so honored and glad to be a part of it. I wanted to recognize some students though, specifically the NISMA students. So I have certificates, I'm going to call their name. Their certificate has their name and their solo level that they did with the instrument and then the grade that they got. So hopefully these will go in a nice keepsake for future use. I know I still have all mine. So I'm going to say their name and call each student up to grab their certificate. If you want to maybe hold your applause till the end, that would be great. First we have Jade Battalato. Chase Brumbaugh. Jackson Brundon. Mia Bush. Mia Bush did 2 solos. She did one for clarinet and one for oboe. Lola Capone. Chloe Collini did a duet. Ada Downey. Addison Jenkins. Ryan Martin. Liam Pilata did 2 as well, one for snare and one for mallets. Thomas Petherbridge. Julie Rogers. Elizabeth Rotella, she did a duet with Chloe Collini. Amelia Rue. Shaylin St. John. Caden Sweet. Lindy Ward. Jacob Weston. Levi Williams, who unfortunately is the person who's sick and not here with a fever. So we're glad for him, I know. And Addison Wittenmeyer and Lucas Lynch did a duet together as well. If we could have all of those students stand, and now we can applaud. It says a lot, specifically at this age group, to put yourself out there and be so vulnerable. So I thank you for encouraging them to do this, and I ask that you continue to encourage them, and those that haven't done it yet, there's always the future. I have some other certificates. Everybody seated in front of you will receive a participation certificate. We're not going to go through all the names and everybody for that tonight, but they will be coming home with that soon. But I do love to recognize some certain people that just kind of go above and beyond. As you know, obviously everybody on this stage has improved and worked really hard, but there's always those that I like to call out specifically. We always have at least one, if not more, person have perfect lesson attendance throughout the whole year, which always blows my mind, because this isn't, I missed my lesson and I made it up. This isn't, oh, it doesn't count because I was absent. These are literally students that have come to every single lesson all year, and this year we have 3 of them. So I'd like to recognize Julie Rogers, Shaylin St. John, and Lori Rodemaker. said Lori, didn't I? Wow, Lorelei. My apologies for that. Then I'd like to recognize leaders. I have an 8th grade leader and a 9th grade leader that I point out every year. And this year was a little different, the 2 students that I chose, because they're both very quiet. And typically when we think of leaders, we think of people who speak up and advocate for their sections. And the reason I chose these 2 students because of their quietness is because to me, that's really a leader too. They're role models, right? Speak softly but carry a big stick. So these 2 individual students may have been quiet, but they certainly showed and led by example as to what a leader is by their behavior and how they handled their section. And for that, the 8th grader is Jackson Brunden. And 9th grader Gavin Parfit. I like to recognize the most improved 8th grader and most improved 9th grader, and again, obviously everybody has improved, but there are always certain people that kind of stick out. So for the 8th grader, I'd like to recognize someone who just actually recently started. He took lessons at Ray, but he wasn't part of the ensemble, and he didn't start lessons right away at the beginning of the year. So for him to be able to keep up with us here and really contribute and do really good things and just be a great kid, this goes to Paul Kakivian. And then our 9th grader is someone who was with us last year and has just come so far, and I'm so proud of him, and this goes to Seth Hughes. And then for our last award is our most outstanding musician, and this goes to, again, an 8th grader and a 9th grader. These are students who just eat everything up, and they do everything that you ask of them and don't ask of them. They just do it, and they're great students and great musicians all around. And so for our 8th grade, we have Thomas Petherbridge. And I have 2 for 9th grade because I couldn't decide, and they're both equally just amazing, and I don't want to see them go. The first is Julie Rogers, and the second is Mia Bush. If we could just have the 9th graders stand, and we can give them a big, huge round of applause, and I can say thank you for these last 2 years. And just to give you a little peek into next year, I've already received my roster of students, and I am so excited, I can't even tell you to say that I am beyond pre-pandemic numbers for our ensemble next year. I didn't think it would take this short, so yes, we can clap for that. All right, we're going to finish our concert with this piece called Choose Joy by Randall Stainbridge. This is a new one that he has recently done. And the reason that I would like to leave our concert with this is because of the message that it gives. So I'm going to read to you what he wrote on the inside of the score. This was a commission. A commission is when a school hires a composer to write a piece for their ensemble. So it says, why choose joy? Commissions can take many forms. I have written pieces that celebrate special occasions. I have written works that tackle serious issues. I have created commissioned pieces that commemorate historical events, and I have written commissions that encouraged me to just play around in my imagination. I've also written too many that are memorial works. Each piece of this type is a reminder to me, and I hope to the audience and performers, that time is our greatest gift and most valuable asset, and we are always spending it, whether we intend to or not. When we ask someone for their hand in marriage, we are asking for and offering our most treasured possession, our time, our lives. When we choose a profession, we are agreeing to dedicate our time to this. When we lose someone, we are simultaneously grateful for the time we have had with them and grieving for that time being depleted. We never get time back, ever. In May 2021, I was approached by Joe Glass of Sale Yards Middle School about a commission. Joe and I have collaborated on a work before, in which I spent a week with him, his staff, and his students to create a work. We created a fun piece of music, but more importantly, we created a friendship that has continued ever since. It was time well spent. Joe asked if I would be interested in a new commission, but that the circumstances were somewhat unusual. It is with his permission and the permission of the family involved that I am sharing these details. He told me about Nicole Crandall, a recent graduate from the high school that Joe's program feeds and his former student. Nicole had been battling level 4 glioblastoma, a very aggressive form of brain cancer. She was then 20 years old and had been moved into hospice care. To celebrate her, they have asked that I create a work in her honor. Illness is the thief of time. In spite of this, Nicole and her family had created a motto that they used to navigate this difficult time: choose joy. I was very moved by this, as I feel too many people waste their time and their lives choosing hate, choosing anger, choosing misery. Do these emotions legitimately exist? Absolutely. But I can safely say for myself that there have been moments where I gave energy to them and fed them instead of shutting them down. Choose joy. I like that. For those of you that may have been touched by cancer, either yourself or a loved one, I am sure you can agree that we never know how much time we are given on this earth, but life events such as these can put a lot of things in perspective. To Joe, thank you for trusting me with this project. To Nicole and her family, thank you for reminding us that happiness can be a choice, even in the face of incredible adversity. It is raining as I finish writing this, and I looked out my window just now. Instead of thunderheads, there is a rainbow shining in the heavens. Even in the darkest clouds, there can be beauty and light, peace, love, and music. The piece uses elements of Beethoven's Ode to Joy, along with a 5-note motive representing the 5 family members of Nicole's immediate family. A trio is heard near the beginning, representing Nicole and her siblings. Parts have been written for the instruments they played in band: flute, clarinet, saxophone. The work alternates between a rhythmic and joyful intensity and a more nostalgic and bittersweet lyrical moment in the middle. There are moments of happiness, humor, worry, pain, and determination. I hope this work serves as a fitting tribute to all of those who choose joy in times of darkness. Thank you so much for a wonderful year, and I look forward to what is in the future and what lies ahead. Thank you very much.